Okay, so the Chinese market, as we know, is now a challenge for Australian businesses to crack. WeTools is an automated WeChat content marketing platform providing all the resources that businesses need to communicate with the potentially lucrative demographic, as we know, both in China and to members of the local Chinese community. For more, we're joined by WeTools founder Harriet Geoghegan. Welcome, Harriet. Great to have you. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So first of all, tell us about this. I mean, at the moment, given what's going on, I'm sure it's a bit of a challenging new environment to deal with right now. But for people that don't know, what are you doing at the moment specifically? What's your sort of number one aim, I suppose?
Yeah, so WeChat is the number one social media platform in China. So
Yep.
I think a lot of people don't realize that Facebook, even websites from overseas, are actually blocked and banned in China. So WeChat is where everybody's at. If you want to promote your brand in China, that's where you need to go. But it's traditionally been very, very difficult for international businesses to access. And in fact, it's only been in the last couple of years that WeChat itself has opened up to international businesses. So myself as a marketer, that was something I was working with products that really wanted to promote to the Chinese market, and it was just really difficult. So we saw that as an opportunity once we finally worked out how it was done to actually we've paved the road ahead and to help other businesses do the same because it's a massive market. There's over 1.2 billion users logging into WeChat every day, and it's the number one place to go if you want to reach that audience.
So how can businesses take advantage of WeChat to grow their brand in China? What's your experience there?
Yeah, so certainly the first hurdle is getting an account, which luckily is a lot easier. So
Okay.
there's an application process, and WeChat itself verifies every single business. So that's something that we're helping businesses do every single day. And then the second hurdle, of course, is everything is in Chinese. So I think that's also where we really want to make that a lot easier by providing submission tools, because of course you're talking Chinese market, you need to do that in Chinese. So that's great news for businesses. You don't necessarily have to hire someone that speaks Chinese to manage your account anymore. And then looking at the type of businesses that's a really big opportunity for. It's certainly been interesting throughout the coronavirus pandemic that e-commerce has really boomed in China. So Alibaba, who's the largest e-commerce platform in China, has seen a 34% year-on-year rise. So anyone that's thinking about that market, if you're in the industry of wine, liquor, cocktails, that's been super popular for people working at home, cooking or baking, and health and wellness, obviously in the midst of a pandemic, is front and center for a lot of businesses. That's a great opportunity because people are really looking to engage with overseas brands, and the Australian brand and Australian products is really well trusted in China. So if you want to reach that market, that's the social platform you should be in, where you can really grow your audience. And WeChat also provides a lot of tools to launch an e-commerce store directly into the market as well.
So you mentioned a few businesses there in terms of the ones that are going well and particular industries as well. In terms of who you work with, is it just a broad range of businesses, or are you seeing, trends at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've worked for the last couple of years largely with real estate brands, and we've
Okay.
just recently launched a product where all types of brands can come and manage your content. So we're now launching products to help support e-commerce brands, media companies as well. If you've got a new site and you want to be putting out content to a Chinese audience. And the other important thing, especially what we've seen with real estate, is not to forget that WeChat's actually really popular in Australia as well. There are around 3 million users in Australia alone.
Wow.
So if you're a company that has Chinese consumers, whether it's from an e-commerce or a sales angle, it's also quite important from a diversity and inclusion angle as well, that's a good chunk of your customers that they're not going into Facebook every day, they're going into WeChat because they want to hear from brands and companies that they interact with in their own language and in the medium that they're used to.
And in terms of opportunity for e-commerce moving forward, of course, there's that huge day over there, the Singles Day Sales Festival, which is absolutely massive. I think it grew exponentially even this year. You can tell us more about that as well. But how are Western brands getting involved at the moment? And what would you say to brands that might be considering it, getting involved but don't know too much about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So Singles Day is, I suppose, best compared to the Black Friday of China. It originally was a bit of a fun gimmick as a kind of as a foil to Valentine's Day, and it's held on the 11th of November because the four ones, it looks like the symbol for a bachelor in China. So it was launched by Alibaba, And this year it was a crazy amount. They set a record of 115 billion in sales. And when you compare that to Black Friday in the US, it was 7.4 billion. So you can see it's a huge, huge day. And I actually found it really interesting. I saw myself just on Instagram ads and Australian consumer marketing that a lot of global brands were offering deals and discounts. I saw JB Hi-Fi was doing 11% off, Maya, the iconic. So Western brands, I think, regardless of the Chinese demographic, I think are embracing it. And it goes into that psychology of really ramping up spending towards Christmas, which is where Cyber Monday and Black Friday have found their opportunities as well to stop people waiting for Christmas sales. So I think it's something that in years to come, we're going to see it as part of mainstream sales, and we'll be remembering the 11th of November as a day we can get a great deal. But certainly once you look at the, I guess, the huge records in China, and we've got Western celebrities, Taylor Swift, Kim Kardashian, Katy Perry doing live streams in China, and that's been happening for years. So it's a huge opportunity, and I think 31,000 brands in China participated in Singles Day direct to a Chinese audience.
Wow.
And the trend is growing that Chinese consumers are looking more and more to international brands. It's not just a Chinese holiday anymore, it's global. So it's a great opportunity.
Totally. It's an exciting space to be in. And, we talk a lot about the US, obviously, with the election, but the China market and relations over there is something we want to continue talking about. So we'll definitely, hopefully, continue talking with you. If people want to learn more in terms of what you're doing at WeTools, where can they go?
Yeah, WeTools.com.au. And our goal is really to make it as simple as possible and help teach all brands everything that they need to know and educate you through that process. So if you're interested in the Chinese market and it all sounds overwhelming, then let us help you.
Awesome, Harriet. Really enjoyed the chat, and I definitely learned a lot. So we'll talk again soon, okay?
Great. Thank you.